Yo, 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 yo. What's good, man, people? It's BJ.
It's your boy Seb.
We're back with another episode of Blocks of Bags.
Whoop.
Come on, man. What's going on? Before we get into the bag, man, what's been going on this week for you, man?
We back. New year, same me. Just getting back into the swing of things, right? Trying to get back onto the horse. Christmas times, holiday season, stuff in your face. So I would say we back. We're fully in action right now, and we're thinking about the plans for 2023. I've been building my personal website. Actually, I got started with that.
Come on.
Let's go. How's it been for you?
You know what? I've just been firing them shots. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started the year out, holiday season, like taking some time in the sunshine.
Tell them where.
I just been in Abu Dhabi and Dubai.
Yeah.
You know, a couple of places. We went to Oxford as well. We did little blocks of back Christmas time. So yeah, man. I just took some time off over the Christmas holiday. Slept loads.
That's
Slept
good.
so much.
You've been putting in work. You need that rest.
So yeah, this year we're gonna double down and go again. We're gonna go again. So yeah, I'm excited for what 2023 is going to bring. Definitely not a new me. It's just an evolved me, man. Like, we're just always evolving. We've been planning Q1 stuff since Q4, Q3. So
Yeah, exactly.
2023 is nothing different.
Exactly.
We're just executing on the plan.
That's good to hear, man. I mean, for me, I kind of landed in 2023 with a bit of an L. So for all of the people out there whose 2023 didn't start exactly how they wanted it or they envisioned it, I'm with you. I know how it feels, but you got to pick yourself back up and get back into the swing of things. So here's to the people who have started a bit of an L. Here's to picking it up and getting things right, because we've got the whole year ahead of us. So don't feel too bad if you ain't done too much. It's only been a couple of weeks in. And we've got the whole year ahead, man. Start planning, start getting stuff in the diary, start getting your ambition set up, because this is going to be the year. This is going to be the year we take off.
Come on, that's the energy. Talking of taking off, I want to do a couple of episodes on different things. Right now, we're going to do an episode for you guys on how to build a website in 2023 that converts, that gets you leads, and that gets you results.
Come on. So,
well, Seb, first of all, Seb, you did my first ever personal website, my guy. So, you know,
let's go.
That was on WordPress. So yeah, thanks for that, man. Like,
WordPress time.
Since then, I've just kept evolving. I've had a Wix, I've had a Squarespace.
Oh, you've been on all of them, yeah.
Got to be everywhere, man. You got to keep trying to find different ways for people to find you. One thing I can say about having a website, both as a personal brand and also as a business, is it puts credibility. It allows you to own your story, and it enables you to make it easy for people to reach out to you for monetary opportunities. So for me, yeah, that contact form I have, and just the ability to have a blog page where I can update people what I've been up to, I find that those are some things that, because it's been done and I've spent some time doing it, it has landed 6 figures of opportunities in 2022 for me.
Jeez.
So in 2023, we're just going to keep inventing and improving elements of that site, and creating more eyeballs on it.
6 figures from the website, from that contact form.
That's it.
If you ain't got a website and contact form in 2023, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're going to get into in this episode. So, when did you first have your first website? How many years has it been, would you say?
So my first ever website, I'd say I built the first website when I was 17 for my business SuperTuck. Just needed a landing page that explained what my business did. It wasn't anything fancy. You had a logo, you had literally some text around what would happen in the workshops, and an email. Not even a contact form, an email people can email you at. And it was like loads of little colours and animations inside. It was playful. You know, we were selling shops in school playgrounds run by teens for teens, and I was a teenager myself. So it was on brand. I didn't know about web optimization or SEO. I was just happy that we had a website.
Up and running.
Do you know what I'm saying? I think I spent like £500 on branding pack, and then I spent another £250 on getting the website live, and another maybe £150 on the domain. So yeah, I worked on retail, tried to make that money to go and pay for that. And you just have to prioritize, you know, like if you think about the McDonald's or Subway you're eating as a teenager every day or every other day, or meal deal, And then the sneakers, buying sneakers was something we did a lot. I did a lot when I was 16, 17. My first couple of retail checks, I was like, let me buy these Nikes, buy these Converses.
Spending on
Yeah, man.
the Vans were
But
popping back in
but
the
I had to
days.
sacrifice. I had to be like, you know what? Couple months, this is what's important to me, And 2 months of working, you can make £700 spare, £1,000 spare if you're prioritizing. So my first website was a WordPress site, and it was. Yeah, it just cost me $750, but I had to work for it. It might sound like a lot if you're just starting out, but I believe if you need to make £1,000, there are ways you can make £1,000 in this life right now.
I hear that. And
How about you? What was your first website?
yeah, man, my first website, rewinding it back to like 2017 times, it was a bit of a pet project and one of my first businesses that I started. It was a website called Thrift with a free, and I was really into my fashion, vintage, thrift shopping back in the days. You could catch me on Brick Lane getting a couple like unique pieces here and there. I realized like I had a knack for thrifting, and I'd gotten
You thrift shopper, you.
I was the thrift shopper, and I would get so many sick pieces like of really cool brands. Like I had this like really cool Berghaus fleece, and back then Berghaus wasn't popping how it was now, and I thought, wouldn't it be really interesting to be able to build a story around some of these select vintage pieces and sell them on a website? So I came up with the idea of thrift.co.uk. It was an online sort of like fashion platform where you could learn about certain brands and also buy vintage items from those brands. So I basically actually created the website myself, and that's what got me to learn how to use WordPress. Shout out to my boy Yusuf Halwachi. He was a web designer at that time, and I asked him, yo bro, like, how do you actually build a website? Like, I'd found it mad interesting. So he kind of showed me the ropes about WordPress. I got a domain, I connected it up to WordPress, and essentially I bought a template or a theme that I could use to really start putting things together in like blocks and things like that. So my first website was kind of like a blog. I made it look really, really cool, visually pleasing, and then it had an e-commerce store attached to it as well. I would say I didn't pay someone to do it, but boy, it took me hours, probably like weeks worth of just hours just figuring out like what happens when you make this change and what happens when you make that change. But in the end, I managed to get like a nice website up and running, and that taught me a lot about web development, how to use WordPress. And actually through building that personal website of mine, that led me on to getting hired as a marketer for other brands who, when I was going to interviews, when I was showing them stuff, I was like, hey, look, I've also built my own personal website on the side, take a look at it. And a lot of people were really impressed by that. And actually, I think my second or third marketing client, they hired me to redo their website as part of the kind of project because they seen what I'd done on WordPress. So yeah, man, it was back in the days. I was in my creative bag. I was writing blogs. Now you get the AI to write the blogs for you, but we were writing blogs. About it. We were taking pictures. It was all about the art back then. And yeah, it was a long time ago. Everything was done on WordPress, but things have changed now. Back in the days, WordPress was the dominant web hosting, web creation sort of tool. Times have changed. People have moved on from WordPress now. So as we've just said, when we're setting it up, it was quite clunky. You'd have to buy your domain here. You'd have to get hosting here, and then you'd have to plug it up to like the WordPress site. Now, the landscape has completely changed. You can just go on to a website provider like Wix and buy your domain, hosting, and your web builder all in one, and have it as a monthly fee. So they've simplified it so much so that you can pretty much build your own website in 24 hours.
Yeah, and that is definitely an evolution. Yeah, like first website I mentioned, that was 2012, 2013. And those kind of builds will take 4 or 5 weeks. We've had builds on sites. I think the most money I spent on the website was 25,000 on a bespoke Shopify site that made 6 figures for us. But
sick.
Yeah, that was cool. We did like a food marketplace. But then like recently, you can really start building real equity real quick in projects with, your simple £500,000 website that you're turning around just you and a designer in 24 hours, 72 hours really, if you want to give it time for the domain to connect properly and to move stuff forward. I've even got a new website I've been building over Christmas that I need to go live with. It's the new super site that, you know, houses the umbrella of all of the different projects we're up to. A quick hack that I've figured out when it comes to building a website, if you want to keep it lean as possible, is start with the storyline, start with the copy. Like if you actually know what you want to communicate on the different pages and you have it written down, it could be on Figma, it could be on Grammarly, it could be on Google Doc. But just putting down what you want to do, it saves you so much time going back and forth on trying to figure out what templates. Like let the North Star of what you're trying to communicate lead and guide you with what the site should be. I definitely wasted a lot of time trying to go fancy without sitting down and go, no, what's the copy and what are we actually trying to say? So I find that for me, when I do that and I work backwards, everything just falls into place quicker.
Love that. Number one mega tip. Number one tip to building your own website, get it down on paper first.
ASAP. Tell that story. What's your number 2 tip?
My number 2 tip would be checking the domains and with all of your brands, if your brand name aligns and if it's free on obviously your domain checker, Instagram, Twitter. So the next thing that I do when I'm figuring it out is I use a couple tools out there where you can search what brand names have been taken on what platforms. There's one called Namecheck, NAMECHK.com, and there's another one called Namevine.com. And essentially, I would go onto one of these websites.
You can also use GoDaddy. I use GoDaddy.
You can use GoDaddy, but these ones, they show you that, cool, sebumesfin.com is available. It's also available on Instagram. It's also available on Twitter. It's also available on Pinterest. So you can kind of align your brand across all of the different kind of platforms. So for me, I always find that it's easiest if you can get a name that's easily accessible. That's the same on like Instagram. So what we've done with Blocks to Bags, like the name was available on Instagram, the name's available on TikTok, the domain's available. Tick, grab that.
Another thing to just think about and to know always is just because you own a domain doesn't mean you own the IP. Some people will be like, oh my God, the business is not available if I don't have the domain. A hack is if you want to trademark your name, you can then go back for a domain later, but that takes a bit longer. So I don't know if you want to go through that process unless you're real shmoney. But still, just remember the top tip is just because you own a domain doesn't mean that the name is yours. So do look at trademarking and look at registration of design.
Yeah, do you think we might have to do an episode on that? I think
absolutely. Just a quick little guide on it. Yeah. Maybe get an expert in, because it's so important. Like I've got friends like, Plant Made, who are multi-million-pound black-owned business here in the UK, killing it. When they came out, they're called This Is Planted, and they were able to move quick and do things. But at some point, as they were trying to go international and realised they weren't past £1 million revenue, the people that actually owned the Planted trademark ask them to remove and cease trading. So you can get a cease and desist letter when you're too big. But listen, as entrepreneurs, that shouldn't deter you, because if you've got revenue, you got money, and your thing's working, you can then do name changes.
Exactly.
But if you're just sat there trying to get a perfect name and trying to trademark, that can also slow you down. So it's a battling act, and I'd rather have capital to make decisions rather than have time that I've spent 6, 7, 8 months trying to get something registered and no revenue from that 8 months of work.
I love that. And another third thing to talk about, me, I'm a marketer, I love funnels.
Come on.
Let's talk about funnels. What is the point of your website? What are you trying to get people to do? That's a very important thing. Don't just build a website for the sake of just building a website, but have a funnel in place. So for your personal websites, like what does the funnel kind of look like for you, and how do you kind of use that to generate the bag?
Yeah, I think funnels for me look like free guides. It looks like webinars. It looks like having exclusive stuff on my newsletter. It's giving value to people with actionable things they can take right now, in their business, in their personal career. So for me right now, it's been about telling stories of how other entrepreneurs have got to 6 figures and then how they got to 7 figures, because I want to have actionable advice that people can learn every day. I'm about to start releasing guides and having an e-com store on my website, because I've been working on so many products the last 12 months, journals, habit trackers, ebooks on like your personal brand, getting your first bit of press, talking to people. So yeah, I think having value, when you give value, you then get to exchange something. So you can either exchange money or you can exchange contact details, because data is so important. So for me, my funnel looks a little bit like my shop windows of my social media profiles. It also looks like the communities I pop up in. So Blocks to Bags, Underdog, and other places I get featured in regularly, some of my other business pages and some of my friends' pages. So making content that can live on these people's sites that expose me to between 10,000 to 100,000 people, if not more sometimes. So that's the top of my funnel, like the awareness piece. And then the initial next stage is when they interact with my website or my link tree, they're able to see a menu of options of things that I have that they can engage with. So on my site in particular, there's the blog where you get real up-to-date, cool information from me and other entrepreneurs. We're going to work on getting more updates this year, but there's also shops when you go on my super site. So that second bit of the funnel is people understanding a bit more about me and a bit more about things they can access right now for free. And then the third stage is that exchange. So right now the shop page for me is all Gumroad. So people being able to just go on the Gumroad and pick up free tools that they can use. And then the final bit of the funnel for me is an exchange of email or money, but definitely an email at a bare minimum, because then it means that I can then let them know about new updates and it starts the funnel again.
Mm-hmm. And I mean that leads to the point of the importance of first party data.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not just enough to have like all the people following you on Instagram. I mean, one of the main parts of the website is for you to be able to collect those emails, those numbers, those details of people, and own your audience. First party data, own your audience. We always talk about the importance of that. And as we've seen, like with people getting deplatformed from some of these social media platforms, like if your whole business and your whole brand and awareness is all just on Instagram or is all just on Twitter, then that's a very risky move. So I think having a website can kind of de-risk your business a bit in terms of trying to get user data. Data is one of the most important things. It's like the modern day oil, right? And then what can you go and do with this kind of data? As we'll probably do other episodes on marketing and stuff like this, but once you start collecting lists of emails of people, you can start using that to market and advertise to them on some of these social media platforms by creating custom audiences. You can create lookalike audiences. If you've got 1,000 email addresses, you can tell Instagram or Instagram ads, yo, find me another 10,000 people who are similar to these guys' email addresses, and let me market my product to them, because I already know the people that have given me their email addresses or have given me their data, those are likely going to be my customers, and I want more of those kind of people. So it's very important to get that first party data, and a website is a great way to kind of do that.
Yep. So building a website this weekend,
Yes.
what steps can someone take? So we've obviously
Yes.
said, put down your story.
Yeah.
We've said, look for the domain.
Yeah.
We've then said, think about your funnel.
Exactly. Next step.
Now you got to do it.
You got to do it.
You got to make it.
Yeah. Choose your platform.
So you've got Wix, you've got
Squarespace.
Squarespace as very easy first steps that people can take. But there are other sites like Webflow as well that you might want to look into. The key with all of these things is just figuring out what works for you. If you're not going to do selling products from day one or even day 60, probably avoid the commerce packages if you're trying to keep lean, because you can just get something out there ASAP. That's what I've learned, because the bigger packages always look attractive, but you got to think about what are we actually trying to do on this site. So pick a package that works for you.
Yeah. So I did this on Wix actually the other day, and just let you know, like the personal package where it's not an e-commerce store attached to it, it's like around £10 a month or something like that.
Yeah, about 13 if you do monthly.
Yeah, and then the one with the e-commerce store attached to it is around £23. So it's like double your kind of cost if you're going to get the e-commerce attachment to it.
Yeah. And when you think about annually, that's about 260, 280 pounds rather than it being £23 a month. So that thing does add up very, very quickly.
Exactly.
And then what you want to do is figure out if you want to do a theme or custom design. If you're trying to be lean, probably do go with a theme. But now that you got your copy, you know what you need to put in. So quickly try to pick a theme, maybe play with 2 different themes just to see what feels more easier to edit and to move around. A quick hack that I always recommend is watch tutorials. There's tutorials on TikTok, tutorials on YouTube. Rather than spending 5 hours playing, watch a couple of fast sped videos of different people who've built off themes, and then go in and you edit if you're doing it yourself.
Love that. Of course. And I guess another important thing is to understand what kind of pages you want on your site. So the site structure. I think the trend right now is to actually have like a one page site where you have everything on like one page and you can kind of scroll down, but it's definitely important to have a contact us page. I mean, if you only have one other page on your website, it should be a contact us page, and make sure you have a contact form there that's kind of linked to your email address. I think the platforms like Wix and Squarespace make it pretty easy to kind of do this. They have inbuilt forms that you can just drag and drop onto the page, and you can connect it up to your kind of inbox, and you can kind of see who's getting in touch with you and whatnot. So really important to have a way for people to get in touch with you, but not just that, but to also showcase your different channels. So don't forget to add your Insta, your TikTok, all your socials on there to give people another channel to kind of view your content. So with Blocks to Bags, for example, we're doing our website right now. We've been talking about how we're going to update it and add more packs and stuff like that now. But for example, if people come on, go onto our Instagram, they see a post, they click onto the link in bio, which goes on to our website, then they have an option to be like, okay, cool. Do I want to go onto the Spotify just to listen to the audio? Do I want to check out the full videos on YouTube? Okay, cool. Do I want to join the newsletter? So it's about also giving people different options, as you kind of said. And in future, we're looking to update this and really break the frame and add templates, content packs. Like, how do you do your OKRs? How do you do a lean canvas and plan your business in a couple of hours to launch within the next week? So for us, we kind of want to take it to the next step and give value to people and add in some like templates and PDF packs in there, things like that. I think for my own personal website, you said you run multiple businesses. So how do you balance that, having multiple websites
Teams.
versus your own?
Yeah, team, man. You need to tell your team. And, you know, if you don't have a full, but that's if, when you get to multiple website level, you know, like you need to be investing in, assistants, even virtual assistants to help you, or just be organized, you know. Sacrifice a Saturday morning to update your shit. Very, very important.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed that episode. I hope you guys are inspired as us to just go around and like fix and work on these websites. Look forward to the new Blocks to Bag updated site coming through. Sebi Mesfin website, BJ Malanga website, you know what it is. We're going to be leading from the front. We might do a little TikTok segment on, you know, what's changed on our website, if you guys are up for it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, guys. It's been Blocks to Bags. Stay tuned for more.